And our next guests are Phil Oura, a volunteer, and Matt Hitchcock, a staff member with the Red Cross. So when I say volunteer and say staff member, you think, let me point out the difference. You're a staff member for how many counties?
17.
And you're a volunteer for how many counties?
7.
See what I mean? You guys do a lot of work. And as of late, we've seen the Red Cross really pressed into service. I'm under the assumption that a lot of folks with the Red Cross here were involved in Houston, Florida, and now Puerto Rico. Am I correct? Am I reading this right?
Yes, sir, you are.
Tell us a little bit about it and how you get the troops mustered and out.
Really is, you'd be amazed that when the call goes out, we rarely have to make calls. People just come and they sign up and they call us and say, we want to go. And usually there's a vetting process. We have to do a background check, and we do have 5 classes that they have to take, but once they do that, they are good to go. And if they want to deploy, we send them. Mm-hmm. And right now, I think the Arkansas, Oklahoma region have sent about 180 people down there. And right now, for the Northeast Territory, which we're a part of, I think we have about 30 that are still deployed, and covering Harvey, Irma, and Maria. We actually have one of our volunteers from Sperry. He's actually in Puerto Rico right now.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. What about forest fires and house fires?
House fires and forest fires or wild grass fires. Yes, we've deployed volunteers to California, not from Oklahoma, but Red Cross has responded to fires in California and Oregon and Montana.
Well, I know when there's a house fire or an apartment fire in this area, you can count on the Red Cross being there. I've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Firsthand.
Yes, sir.
Do these folks have to be called in, or do they just show up?
We have to be deployed. We have a duty officer that's called by either emergency management or by the fire chief, and to confirm that there is a fire. And then the duty officer calls to see who can respond.
As a general rule, they don't waste any time getting there either, do they?
Not if we can help it. We try to get there generally within 2 hours, but a lot sooner than that.
It's incredible to think that we have such an organization as the Red Cross here. And you pass the building out there on the freeway and you think, gosh, that's a large building. But there's a lot going on there. You got blood donations, you got relief. What all takes place inside there?
Well, half the building is blood services, and that's where they obviously people, they donate blood, but then they treat the blood. They test the blood. I forget what the actual number is, how many out of every batch, mm-hmm. But they do that for the blood side. And then on the disaster side, that's where we house all the supplies for, like, if we have a major flood or major fire, mm-hmm. and we have a big area where volunteers, they just come in and they'll donate 40, 50 hours a week sometimes, helping us to better prepare for the next disaster as well as prepare for the next house fire.
And they're all ages, aren't they?
All ages, but I will tell you the average age is probably what, Phil, over 50?
Yes.
Yep. It's interesting to note too, and folks, if you haven't seen it, go by the Red Cross office and they can show it to you. The first symbol or pin, lapel pin, was designed by a chief of one of the 5 tribes here in the immediate Tulsa area. And I happen to have one of those pins and heard the history of it. But there's such a long history with the Red Cross that, I mean, that's in itself worth reading. Mm-hmm. What have you got there?
Well, number one, the Red Cross responds to over 64,000 emergencies or disasters every year. And a great majority of those are family fires. Mm-hmm. And out of those disasters, on average, there's about 7 deaths per day as a result of those family fires.
Do that again.
64,000 responses, and majority of those are family fires, with 7 deaths as a result of those fires every day.
Every day in this country?
Yes, sir. And about 36 injuries daily. Mm-hmm. A lot of those can be prevented with the use of a smoke alarm. And the new ones are now 10-year smoke alarms, so you don't have to replace the batteries. You should still test it, but you don't have to replace batteries like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And once the smoke alarm goes off, you have 2 minutes to get out. And once you're out, don't go back in. There are so many injuries or deaths result from people going back in to try to find maybe someone they think is still in there, go back in to retrieve a personal item, go back in to retrieve an animal. So
Once
2
you're
minutes,
out, stay out.
exactly right.
Well, which brings to mind, I have heard, and I could be wrong, but I have heard that there is a new push out there to remind folks of the hazards of getting out in time, and it's called I Can Do It in 2 Minutes. Am I right?
That's correct.
All right, let's take a look at that. I can do it in 2 minutes.
It's ready for action.
We can do it in 2 minutes.
Now, when I was in high school, I couldn't do it in 2 minutes. By the time I got to college, 2 minutes was a cinch.
I really like it when a guy can do it in under 2 minutes.
The key to my marriage is doing it in under 2 minutes.
I can do it in 2 minutes.
I can do it in less than 2 minutes.
I can do it in under 2 minutes myself, and with my boyfriend.
Each year, the Red Cross responds to 66,000 disasters.
Most of them are home fires.
Most of them are home fires.
I know. Whoa.
7 people die each day on average from home fires.
7 people.
A day.
That's way too many people.
You can save your life and your family's life.
Make an escape plan.
Make an escape plan.
Make an escape plan.
It's critical that everyone can get out in under 2 minutes. I can get from my bedroom to my front door in less than 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. I can take my shirt off, pour glitter all over myself, and still do it in 2 minutes.
Called my mom the other day, told her I did it in under 2 minutes. She was so proud.
1.5. What? There's no way.
Yeah.
Check your smoke alarms monthly to make sure they're working properly.
Smoke alarms cut your risk of death or injury in half.
Half. It's 50%.
This little guy, cutting it in half.
And if it's beeping at you, don't rip it out of the wall. Give it a battery, you know? Make it happy so it can help you get out of the house in time.
Make sure to visit redcross.org/2steps, 2 minutes.
2 steps.
2 minutes.
2 steps, 2 minutes.
Visit the link below to find out more.
Wherever it is.
Not there. Right here.
Okay, now you got it. I want to follow that with, in our household, we keep a bag packed. In the event of fire, tornado, anything that could possibly happen, all we have to do is grab it and we're good to go for about 3 days. Shouldn't that be the norm for everybody? Shouldn't everybody have something ready to go?
Yes, you should have a kit, a plan, and be ready, listen to the radio, television, and be knowledgeable of what's going on around you. Again, being prepared is the key, and having a plan. And when we talk, especially about talking about fires, have a plan, an escape plan, as I showed on that little video, and a place to meet, because a place to meet is important to count all of the people in the household to make sure that everybody got out safely.
And I want to add one thing to that. If you have an underground shelter, if you have a storm shelter, and like if it's in your garage or if it's just outside the back door or the front door, register with the fire department. Let them know that you've got that, because we have tornadoes here, as you well know, and there is a very good chance that something could end up on top of your door where you could possibly be trapped. So let the fire department know. That way they'll have you on a list of folks to check if for some reason you can't get out. Have I missed anything?
No, I think it's great.
Am I doing good?
Yes.
Fantastic.
How do you need, what are your needs right now in blood?
We always need blood. There's always a shortage of blood.
Every day.
Every day?
every day.
Well, get out and donate blood, folks. It's needed. Hey, guys, thank you very much for taking time. We appreciate you coming in. And remember, we can all do it in 2 minutes. That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.